All right, so you're prepping for a pension scheme manager interview and want to really nail it.
Definitely.
We're diving deep into RoleCatcher's guides
Yeah.
to help you just knock it out of the park.
Sounds good.
We'll look at what the job really is all about, some of the
Ah.
tricky questions they might ask you,
They're right.
and even how RoleCatcher's AI can help you fine-tune your answers.
Perfect.
So it's really interesting, right? This role,
Yes.
it's so much more than just crunching numbers.
It really is.
You're actually like shaping the financial futures of tons of people.
Yeah, you're managing funds, developing strategies, policies.
Right. It's like being the architect of peace of mind when it comes to finances.
Absolutely.
So let's just jump right in. Imagine yourself in that interview, hot seat.
Okay.
What experience do you have in managing pension schemes?
Oh, that's a classic.
Right. It's almost guaranteed to come up.
Definitely.
So you've got the experience, but how do you really make that shine in the interview?
I think instead of just listing your past jobs. Okay.
You want to talk about specific challenges,
I see.
like times that you had to maybe fix a pension plan that was struggling,
Right.
or maybe you had to navigate some really tricky regulation changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those stories, those are what's going to grab their attention.
So paint a picture for them. Show them how you solve problems.
Exactly.
And that's where I think RoleCatcher's AI can be so helpful.
Yeah. How so?
Because their platform actually helps you figure out what skills each employer really wants.
Right.
And then you can tailor your CV and your answers to highlight those strengths.
That's great.
It's like having this personalized strategy guide for every interview.
I like it.
Okay, next question. How do you ensure compliance with pension scheme regulations?
Uh-oh.
Right? This one sounds like a bit of a minefield.
It can be if you're not ready for it.
So how do you navigate that?
I think the key is to show them that you don't just know the rules.
Yeah.
You live by them.
Okay. So you can mention specific publications or courses that you follow to stay up to date.
Right, right.
And even better, if you can give a real-life example of a time you spotted a compliance issue
I see.
and then how you took care of it.
Yeah, that's great. So basically, prove you're a compliance ninja.
Exactly.
Okay, here's another one. How do you manage relationships with clients and stakeholders?
Right.
This one feels like it's all about soft skills.
It definitely is.
So how do you answer this authentically?
Well, I think, first of all, you have to remember, you're dealing with people who are anxious about their financial future.
Makes sense.
So being able to build trust and communicate clearly, those are crucial.
So how do you answer that without sounding like a motivational poster?
Be genuine. Tell a real story that shows you can handle the good and the bad of client relationships.
Okay.
Like maybe you had a super demanding client who needed a lot of hand-holding.
Right, right.
Or maybe you had to mediate a disagreement between stakeholders.
Yeah, I see what you mean. So honesty and balance.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. All right, another question that they might throw at you. What qualities do you think are essential for a pension scheme manager?
Okay.
It feels like this is a chance to show them you really understand the job.
It is.
And it's a great opportunity to connect those qualities back to your own experience.
Absolutely.
So let's say you say active listening is really important.
Right.
Then you need to give an example of a time you really listened to clients' concerns
I see.
and then came up with a solution that met their needs.
Right. Show, don't tell.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into some questions specific to the industry. What do you think are the biggest challenges facing the pensions industry today?
Ooh, good one.
With this one, they're checking if you've been paying attention to what's happening.
Yeah,
They want to see you're thinking about the big picture, not just the day-to-day.
definitely.
So you want to do your research beforehand
Okay.
and be ready to talk about things like the aging population,
Right.
evolving regulations, even how technology is impacting the industry.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Impress them with your knowledge and insights.
Got it.
Okay, here's another challenging one. How do you ensure that pension schemes are sustainable in the long term?
Okay.
This one really gets to the heart of what a pension scheme manager does.
Absolutely.
So this is where you really showcase your understanding of risk management, investment strategies, all of that.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to get a little technical here. You can mention specific tools or methodologies you use.
Okay, so like break out the finance buzzwords, but explain them clearly.
Exactly.
All right.
And remember, RoleCatcher can help you fine-tune these answers.
Oh, how so?
Their AI actually gives you feedback
On what?
on the level of detail, the clarity of your explanations.
That's helpful.
Right. It helps you make sure you're hitting that perfect balance.
Yeah,
Technical expertise, but also clear communication.
makes sense.
All right, one last question before we move on. How do you ensure that pension schemes are accessible to all members.
Okay.
Now, this one's not so much about numbers.
Right.
It's about fairness, about inclusion.
Definitely.
It's your chance to show you care about social responsibility, not just the bottom line.
I see.
So how do you answer this authentically and convincingly?
I think you share real examples of how you've made pension schemes more accessible in the past.
Okay, like what?
Maybe you put communication strategies in place that were easy for everyone to understand.
Got it.
Or you advocated for plan options that really cater to lower income workers.
I see. So show them you're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
Exactly.
Because that's what really resonates. It shows you're not just looking for any job. You really want to make a positive impact.
It does. It shows that you really care.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit.
Okay.
And talk about another question that pops up a lot.
Right.
How do you handle conflicts with clients or stakeholders?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you're dealing with people's money, their future.
Right.
It's got to get a little heated sometime.
Absolutely. And they want to know you can handle that.
Right, that you can kind of navigate those choppy waters.
Yeah.
So how do you showcase those conflict resolution skills?
Well, for me, it always starts with listening.
Okay.
Making sure everyone feels heard, even if you don't agree with them.
Right.
That can really de-escalate things.
Yeah, so understand where they're coming from before you even try to explain your side.
Exactly. And then it's about finding a resolution that works for the pension scheme and its members.
Okay.
Sometimes that means compromise.
Right.
Sometimes it means you have to stand your ground. But it always means being transparent, explaining your reasoning.
Okay, so walk me through like a hypothetical situation here.
Okay.
Let's say you have a client who's really insistent on an investment strategy you think is too risky.
Right.
How do you handle that?
Well, first, I'd make sure I really understood their perspective.
Yeah.
Like, what are their goals? What are their concerns?
Yeah.
Once I had that clear picture, then I'd present my analysis.
Okay.
The risks involved. Use data, objective information.
So you appeal to their logic, not just their emotions.
Right. You have to find that balance. Being
Yeah.
assertive, but also empathetic.
Right. So firm but respectful.
Yes.
I bet RoleCatcher's AI feedback would be helpful here
Oh, for sure.
in fine-tuning your response to that kind of question.
Yeah, because they analyze your language and tone.
Right.
Make sure you sound confident, but not aggressive.
Right.
Empathetic, but not wishy-washy.
You got to find that sweet spot.
Exactly.
Okay, last question on this topic. How do you stay up to date with changes in the pensions industry?
Oh, that's important.
This one's all about showing you're a lifelong learner.
Yes, definitely. This industry's constantly changing.
So you got to show them you're not just resting on what you already know.
Right?
That you're actively looking for new knowledge and insights.
Yeah.
So what are some concrete examples you could give to prove that?
Well, you could mention specific publications.
Okay.
Like industry journals, newsletters you subscribe to.
Right.
Conferences you've attended, maybe webinars.
But don't just like name drop.
No, of course not.
Right. You have to explain what you learned.
Yes.
How you've used that knowledge.
Exactly.
So for example, if you went to a conference on sustainable investing, you could talk about how that changed your decision-making process.
Right.
Or if you read an article about automation, you could discuss how you're preparing your team for those changes.
It makes sense.
So show them you're not just passively taking in information, you're actually using it to get better at what you do.
I like that.
Right? You're a proactive, engaged, forward-thinking professional who's committed to always improving.
Definitely.
And this is another place where RoleCatcher can help.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Their AI can help you figure out if you have any gaps in your knowledge.
Okay.
And then it can suggest resources for you to learn.
That's helpful.
Tailored to your career goals.
So it's like a personal career coach.
Exactly. Okay, let's move on to a question that's a bit more technical.
Okay.
How do you ensure that pension schemes are sustainable in the long term?
Okay.
This one requires a deep understanding of risk management, investment strategies,
It does.
all those financial intricacies.
Yeah.
It's your chance to show off your expertise.
Okay.
The interviewer wants to know that you can think about the future, make good decisions.
Right.
So the pension scheme stays financially healthy for years to come.
Yes.
So where do you even start with a question like that?
I think you start by outlining the key factors that affect long-term sustainability.
Okay, like what?
Like demographic trends, the economy, how investments perform, regulatory changes.
Right.
And then you talk about how you manage risk. How do you assess and mitigate potential problems?
Okay, give me an example. Let's say interest rates are going up.
Right.
How would that affect your strategy?
Well, if interest rates go up, that could affect fixed income investments.
Right? So I might adjust the portfolio to reduce exposure to those.
Okay.
Maybe diversify into alternative investments that are a hedge against inflation.
So you have to be proactive, adaptable,
Yeah.
change your strategy as things change around you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you need to communicate that clearly. Don't just say what you do.
Right.
Explain why you do it, using data and logic.
Show them you're thinking critically.
Yes,
You're making decisions based on knowledge of the market.
absolutely.
RoleCatcher's AI feedback could help here too.
Yeah. How so?
It can show you where you could give more specific examples
Okay.
or data to back up your arguments.
That's really helpful.
It's like having a financial expert helping you build the best argument.
Definitely.
All right, let's switch gears and talk about technology. How do you see technology impacting this industry? What skills are going to be important in the future?
That's a great question. Technology is already changing how pension schemes are managed,
Right.
and it's only going to get bigger.
We're seeing more automation, data analytics, online platforms,
Yeah.
and that's streamlining things, making them more efficient and transparent.
So embrace it. Right.
Exactly. Don't resist it.
Okay.
Pension scheme managers have to be tech savvy.
Right.
You have to adapt to new tools and platforms.
Okay.
Understand how to use technology to your advantage.
So what specific skills do you think will be in demand?
Data analysis is a big one.
Okay.
You need to be able to interpret data, spot trends, and make decisions based on that.
Right.
Cybersecurity is also becoming really important.
Right. You got to protect that sensitive information.
Absolutely.
Anything else?
And then the more general tech skills,
Like what?
like being good with different software programs, comfortable with online communication, and being able to learn new technologies quickly.
Yeah. So it's not just about what's out there now. It's about being able to learn as things change.
Exactly. And interviewers want to see that you're not afraid of change,
Right?
that you see it as a chance to grow and innovate.
RoleCatcher can help here too.
Oh, how?
Their AI is always looking at the job market
Okay.
to see what skills are in demand.
Right.
And then they can even help you tailor your CV to highlight those skills.
That's great. So it's like having a crystal ball
Yeah.
that helps you prepare for what's coming.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about communication.
Right.
With more digital platforms and remote work, how do you see that role evolving?
Well, communication has always been important,
Yeah.
but it's even more so now as things change.
Right.
You need to be able to communicate with a lot of different people.
Right, cool.
Clients, board members, investment managers, regulators.
Right.
And it's not just about speaking and writing clearly.
Yeah.
You have to adjust your style for different people and platforms.
So be adaptable,
Yes.
tech savvy,
Yes,
culturally sensitive.
absolutely.
Okay, so you need to master written and verbal communication, active listening, being clear, building trust, whether it's in person or online.
Right. And don't forget about nonverbal communication.
Oh, yeah, especially online.
Things like eye contact, posture, facial expressions.
Right.
Those matter even through a screen.
And RoleCatcher can help you with that, too.
Oh, how?
Their AI can give you feedback on those nonverbal cues,
Okay.
so you come across as confident, competent, and approachable.
That's really helpful.
All right, let's switch gears again. Let's talk about salary expectations.
Okay.
This is a question that's bound to come up.
For sure.
You don't want to undersell yourself, but you also don't want to price yourself out.
That's tricky.
It is. There's no easy answer.
Right.
The best thing is to research the average salary range for pension scheme managers in your area and with your level of experience.
Yeah, good advice.
So do your homework before the interview. But what if they ask you for a specific number? What do you say?
You could say something like, based on my experience and qualifications, I'm targeting a salary in the range of insert salary range. But then I'd emphasize that you're more interested in finding the right fit, the right company culture.
Right.
Show them you're not just motivated by money.
It's about more than that.
You want to contribute your skills, make a positive impact.
Yeah.
It's a good chance to reiterate your passion for this industry,
Right.
your excitement about the role.
All right. Last question for this section. Do you have any questions for us?
Oh, yeah, that classic one.
I know it's tempting to just say no and get out of there,
Right.
but this is your chance to leave a good impression.
It is, and it's a chance to learn more.
Right. To help you decide if this is the right job for you.
Exactly.
So what kind of questions could you ask?
You could ask about the company culture, their values,
Okay.
their approach to professional development,
Yeah.
their plans for the future of the pension scheme.
So those are good general questions.
Yeah, right.
What about something more specific to the role?
You could ask about the team you'd be working with, the challenges facing the scheme, the opportunities for growth within the company.
Those are great. It shows them you're not just looking for any job. You're looking for a place to thrive.
It does.
And RoleCatcher can help you prepare for this too.
Oh, how so?
Their AI can suggest questions based on the job
Okay.
and even give you insights into what the interviewer is really looking for.
It's like having a secret weapon for every stage of the interview.
Okay, we've covered a lot today.
Well, you have.
Tricky interview questions, the changing pension industry, and how RoleCatcher's AI can help you.
Yeah.
But before we move on to the final part, I want to come back to something we talked about earlier.
Right.
Authenticity.
Yeah, that's key. It's not just about having the right answers.
Right.
It's about being genuine, passionate, excited about the opportunity.
Because they're looking for more than just a qualified candidate.
Right.
They want someone who's a good fit for their team and their culture.
Someone who brings energy, enthusiasm, and a real desire to make a difference.
So as you prepare for your interview, think about why you want this role.
Okay.
What are your goals? What kind of impact do you want to make?
Those are great questions because when you're clear about your purpose, it shows.
And that's what makes you stand out. Okay, so we've really dug deep into the world of pension scheme managers.
We have.
We've talked about those tough interview questions, the changing industry, and how RoleCatcher can be a real game changer.
Definitely a lot to think about.
But before we wrap up, I want to leave our listener with something to really think about.
Okay, I'm all yours.
As you're getting ready, fine-tuning your answers, even practicing with RoleCatcher, take a minute and imagine yourself 5, 10 years down the line in this job.
I like that. It's not just about getting the job. It's about seeing yourself there.
What kind of pension scheme manager do you want to be? What impact do you want to have? Not just on people's finances, but on the whole industry.
That's a powerful question. It's about more than just checking boxes. It's about creating a vision.
Because this job, it's more than a title, more than a paycheck.
Right.
It's a chance to really contribute, to be part of something bigger.
You're aligning your goals with the people you serve, with the company you join.
So as you prepare, think about the legacy you want to build.
Okay.
Do you want to be known as the innovator, the one who came up with new solutions, or the one who fought for fairness and inclusion?
That kind of thinking, that sense of purpose, it makes you a better candidate.
It does. It puts you on a path to a more fulfilling career.
And who knows, you might even come up with something groundbreaking, something that changes the whole industry.
Exactly. So go into that interview with confidence. You're not just looking for a job, you're starting a journey to make a real difference.
I think that's a great way to put it.
That's what the deep dive is all about.
Thanks for joining us, and good luck with your interview.